Making friends can seem like trying to pet a cat that doesn't really like you. You put in all the effort and all you get is a mean stare. You try to start conversations, yet you find yourself lonely with no rewards for your efforts and you wonder if you've become invisible. It's a bit like being Clark Kent, just without the cool superpowers. Why do you think you can't be yourself around others, yet when in someone you already know, you have no problem being your super cool self? But in reality, making friends is just logical, so let's dig into that logic. So you're looking for someone real, a loyal friend that puts you above others, with whom you can have an infinite source of infinite good memories. But there's a problem, and it's that most people are actually not looking for that. Or at the very least, they don't consider you as a candidate. But why is that? Well, that could be a lot of factors. Let's be honest for a second. You're probably aware that you're not very good at socializing. I mean, you're watching a video about how to make friends, so yeah, but I'm not gonna judge, you know? But maybe you don't know what to say when you're with people, and you just dislike what comes out of your mouth. You fear being in large groups, and you envy the popular guys, and you miss all the social cues, and you're a bit insecure, and maybe you struggle to make others laugh. The list could stretch to infinity and beyond. So you might ask me, well, how can I socialize? And I would tell you to start by changing how you view others. It's easy to feel intimidated by others who are good at socializing, even more when they treat you as some kind of weird insect. But take for example your brothers or sisters. If you have any, you have absolutely no problem being yourself around them. Why? Because you've seen their failings. You've seen them being jealous, pathetic, humiliated, you name it. The only difference is that you haven't seen the failings of others. But logically, they have some, so just start by assuming that everyone has a weird side, that if you knew it, you would not feel so intimidated around them. Now here's some great tips for socializing. First, quality over quantity. If you say a lot, but nothing really interesting, people will start to ignore you. So if you say a bit less, but maybe every time you talk, you try to say something that's interesting, well, people will pay more attention to what you say. And also, repeating what you want to say in your head before talking is really of great value. So it's best to think a bit before talking sometimes. Unless you're a politician, then just say whatever sounds good. Now let's run through some other factors for why people don't want to be your friend. Number 1, you're blinded by your desire of friendship. You want friends so bad, you're obsessed with being liked. And people don't like that, so they push you away, and you're too blinded to realize that sometimes people just don't like you. You know, it's not really their fault. I mean, even you don't like your own company sometimes. And in reality, you have to love yourself so that you can be yourself around others. Because when you truly love yourself, you know your worth and defend it. You really don't need friends or external validation to feel good about yourself. That comes from within. I make a video just for self-love and self-respect, so subscribe to see that. Factor number 2, you're too considerate. Let's say you don't like interrupting people, you hate ignoring others, and you always try to have meaningful, deep conversations. You have a strong sense of empathy, emotional intelligence, and a genuine interest in connecting with others on a deeper level. And that is excellent, and that makes you a great potential best friend. The thing is that if you're surrounded by people that are not really considerate, you will get hurt for not receiving the same treatment you give. So don't be so concentrated on responding to every input, though it depends on your surroundings. Which brings me to factor number 3, adapt to others. It's important to be observant and try to sense what kind of dynamic there is in a social circle. So try to pay attention to other people. What do they say? What kind of comments do they make? That way you can sense what's the best way to present your inner self to the outside world. Factor number 4, it can take time to be comfortable around others. Some of us introverts were pressured to be like everyone else, so we ended up being really weird because we were trying to socialize even if we felt an immense discomfort. So reject that and do things your way. If you need to be around others 20 times to feel like you can open up, then do that. And don't be afraid to be honest and tell people you're an introvert and need time. Factor number 5, you have a bad reputation. If everybody already knows you and have an opinion of you, which may be negative, it's gonna be an obstacle for you. So there's 2 important things to learn from this. First, when you first meet people, try to be mindful of your first impression. Second, if you want to change your reputation, it will require patience and a deep understanding of social dynamics. So start by learning how people work. But doing all this will not guarantee you will have friends, because as I said in the beginning, most people are not looking for a deep and meaningful friendship. But that just means you're not looking for most people. You're looking for a gem, someone with a compatible personality, sense of humor, and opinions. Someone who values the idea of having a best friend just like you. And that's really not easy to find. The point is, if you're looking for a gem, don't expect it to find it fast. And you might even never find that gem. Why? Well, because they don't really look like one. Just as you are not being considered as a potential best friend by others, there are people that you don't want as best friends either. You know, maybe you find them weird or awkward or something along those lines. But in reality, this is what makes them so incredibly valuable. I mean, if someone appears as socially perfect, it's because they know what they're doing. But you want someone authentic, I mean, someone that doesn't know how to fake. You want a unique little creature, and for that, they need to be a bit unaware, you know, a bit imperfect. And that's why the most precious people are usually the ones that give off a bit of a weird vibe. But just remember, the best kind of weird is the kind that matches your weird. The sooner you change your standards, the sooner you will find that shining gem that's hiding in the dark. A good way to find that golden person is by their sense of humor. Look for someone who connects with you on that level. The rest is really not that important compared to having the ability to make each other laugh, unless those jokes are terrible dead jokes, then you might want to reconsider. But after all that, how can you make friends? Well, actually, you really can't. I mean, it's not really up to you. You can influence it, but friendships just happen naturally. It's the combination of different factors that come into play. For example, you both want a real connection, you both have compatible personalities, and the third thing that we haven't talked about yet, you see each other frequently. You see, friendships grow from shared experiences, and the start is the most difficult phase for most people. I mean, how weird is it to be strangers and to slowly become as close as brothers? So either it's your neighbor or playing table tennis after school, you need to have a context in which there is a possibility of accumulating good moments. So it may be necessary for you to create that context if it is not given. When you have a best friend, you'll remember each time you tried socializing with others and everything felt so forced and so disingenuous. And you'll realize that you never really want to go back to before and never want to lose that precious golden person that you found among the mist. How great is it to know that you've gained someone's respect, to know that out of everybody on earth, they chose you to be their best friend. What a wonderful feeling. And I mean, finding a gem, knowing that your best friend is an incredible human being that you've discovered and you don't want to let go, it gives the same emotions as winning the lottery. You feel incredibly lucky, you're asking yourself, how would be my life if I hadn't met that person? But opposite to the lottery, good memories with your best friends come every day, and you don't even have to pay taxes on them.